I will yield back to whatever time remains. I think we just check for the floor.
Do you want to just finish for 2 minutes?
I'll yield for.
All right, I appreciate yielding again on this. Let me just say that there is several concepts we have talked about here. One, does it meet the threshold of the Commerce Clause according to the courts? I do not think it does. You have also mentioned several other concepts that just because Congress says this is a necessary and proper act doesn't necessarily mean it's a necessary and proper act. It also bothers me that we forget the very essence of federalism upon which this country was founded, which means simply it is not essential for the federal government to have to solve every problem. In fact, sometimes it is better if the federal government does not. I've used that example many times before about records. When I was young, if I wanted a song, I had to buy the entire record. Now there's an iPod that my kid can download the song I want to. If I want vanilla, Ben & Jerry still has 34 flavors from which I can choose. Every part of our life is now based on the concept of choice and options for American people except the government. The federal government is still the last bastion of one-size-fits-all-ism, where we tell people what they ought to be doing rather than allowing them to have choices and options. And I say this because some people said, well, if we don't do this, we have nothing. That's not true. States are moving forward. My state already has implemented a process that gives people 66 options based on the demographics of my state. And everything we are doing in Utah is stop dead. If this federal bill passes, they succeed. They now dictate everything that will happen. States are different. Massachusetts has a program they seem to like. It would not work in Utah. Demographics of Utah would not allow our program to be successful in Massachusetts. But that's why there is the brilliance of federalism, so there can be 50 different innovative ideas, and people have the chance to experiment and try and prove and find something that works for their particular area. And in a nutshell, that's a very brief problem. This destroys the concept of federalism. I'll yield back to the gentleman from New Jersey.
Right.